Good morning, students. Hope all are safe in your home. Yesterday we discussed the basic concepts of computer definitions. Okay. Today we continue remaining definitions and enter into introduction of Python programming language. Okay. See, last class we discussed what is meant by computer definition. Okay. Structure of computer architecture and algorithm, flowchart, all these definitions we introduced in previous class. So what is meant by algorithm? An algorithm is a sequence of a step-by-step process to solve particular problem. A step-by-step process to solve a particular problem in a particular domain. Okay, so by using system we solve our problems. Computations can be done through this computer system. Okay, so next, so example for last class we discussed one example for algorithm. For example, sum of two numbers. So every algorithm starts with first sequence of instructions. These instructions, first instruction is always start. So second one, input two numbers by using the input unit. Okay, so input A comma B from through keyboard. Next, then A assign, for example, 10, B assign 20, then we calculate C is equal to A plus B. Finally, we print the value of C. Print the value of C. The result, C is stored A plus B. 10 plus 20 is stored in C. C is 30 and finally it prints the value of C. Then start end. End is the last statement of this algorithm. In this way we write sequence of step, okay, in a particular order, in a structured manner. Okay, so these algorithms having some characteristics. We define all the steps in a particular manner. By using the logic we write these algorithms. So mathematical logic we implement here. Here A plus B, here plus is arithmetic operator. So we calculate here A and B, sum of two numbers A and B. So 10 plus 20 and calculate this value 10 plus 20, that is equal to 30, that can be placed in another variable C. Okay, so in this way we write a sequence of steps by using algorithms. So this algorithm can be, next we define the definition of flowchart. What is meant by flowchart? So the best example for algorithm is, we prepare one item. Okay, the recipe, the sequence of steps. We prepare sequence of steps for preparing that item, that is also calling it as one algorithm in real life example. Okay, so next coming to flowchart. What is meant by flowchart? A flowchart is a pictorial representation of an algorithm. Pictorial representation of an algorithm. So first you prepare an algorithm to solve a particular problem. First we prepare an algorithm. After that we write all the sequence of steps in a pictorial representation. Pictorial means graphical representation. Graphical representation is calling it as a flowchart. So all the sequence of steps represented in a graphical manner, that is calling it as flowchart. That is, it is a design part. By using some symbols, by using different types of symbols, we prepare this flowchart. So it is a flowchart is a design principle, is a design or plan. Okay, so algorithm is a plan in a structured manner. So the structured manner can be using symbols, we prepare a design. So this design is calling it as flowchart. By using different types of symbols can be used. So every instruction, every statement or instruction in an algorithm represented in different symbols. All these symbols are discussed here one by one. So in the last example, in the previous class example, we write one sum of two numbers that can be displayed in flowchart here. So first start is a statement, first statement of every algorithm that can be displayed in flowchart this by using this symbol. Next, coming to next statement, input a comma b. This input a comma b displayed this box, parallelogram shaped box. See here, right here, input a comma b. Okay, next coming to, then we calculate. Okay, here we enter a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. Then we calculate, process the c is equal to, calculate or compute c is equal to a plus b. So this statement can be placed by using rectangular shaped box. Here we are using different shaped boxes. For every statement we are using different shaped box. This one is parallelogram shaped, this one is rectangular shaped, this one is elliptical shaped box. Next, coming to, after calculation of c value, then we print the value of c. So print statement can be placed in print c. So both input and output statement placed in parallelogram shaped box. Finally, we conclude or end the flowchart or algorithm. So start and stop. For every flowchart, we use this symbol for two purposes, start and end. So this box is calling it as start or stop or begin or end box. Next, this parallelogram shaped box used for input and output purpose, both for input and output purpose. This rectangular shaped box can be used for computing purpose or processing purpose. We are using arithmetic and logical operations, but those operations can be placed in this rectangular shaped box. According to shape, these symbols are calling it as start or stop boxes. These two boxes are according to their symbols, start or stop boxes. According to symbols, these are used for input and output purpose. According to shape, these boxes are called as parallelogram shaped boxes. This one is rectangular shaped box. This one is used for actual processing. Logic can be placed in this box, rectangular shaped box. This is the concept of flowchart. So we discuss, this is an example for last time we discussed sum of two numbers. So the flowchart for that algorithm is this one. So next we discuss one by one all the symbols in a specified manner. First, so flowchart symbols. Flowchart symbols. Flowchart symbols. So flowchart symbols can be named in two ways. One is according to functionality. According to functionality, and second one is according to shape. According to shape. So according to functionality, we use different types of symbols, flowchart symbols. First one is start or stop, or begin or end. Start or stop, both are same, comma, begin or end boxes. According to functionality, start or first box is start or stop or begin or end box. So this box represents starter. Right here in this box, either start or begin or end. So this box is for every flowchart first step, and this is the last step for every flowchart. Next, coming to second one, according to functionality, input output box. Input output box. So this is calling it as IO. Input, I stands for input, O for output box. Input output box. So parallelogram shaped box can be used for input and output purpose. So parallelogram shaped box used for input, both two purposes. So we write input statement in this box, output statement also placed in this box. So this box can be used for IO purpose. Next, third one, processing. Actual processing or computation box. Computational or logic box. So we write logic here. So this rectangular shape box represents logic, actual logic. In the previous, so here in the previous program, I am writing here C is equal to A plus B. The actual logic that are placed in this processing box. Okay. So in this input output, I am writing in previous example input A comma B. Here A comma B are two variables. Okay, they are created in memory when you write programs in Python. So these two variables are created in memory. So they require two values. I am giving A is equal to 10. I am giving A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20. So A is stored in memory with the variable 10 with the value 10. Variable B can be stored in with the value 20. Okay. So in this way, next coming to fourth one. According to functionality, we are using one more box, that is for conditional box. Conditional or constraints or decision making box. Decision making box. So this box is used for, okay, in special cases this box can be used. So this box, diamond shaped box. According to shape, this box is calling it as diamond shaped box. So here flow from top execution, this step coming from this flow. Next, here I am writing some conditions. Here I am writing conditions. For example, in a problem or a program, I compare both A and B. For example, I compare both A and B are greater or lesser. Suppose I am writing here A is greater than B. A is greater than B. So this one is condition. Next, it returns either yes or no. It compares both A and B. For example, A is 10, B is 20. It compares A is greater than B. So 10 is greater than 20. Is it true or false? It returns either true or false. For example, here 10 is greater than 20 is false. That's why it returns false. So it returns false. True or false? False. When true, it returns true, control goes to this. Whether it control, if it is false, control goes to this execution. Next, so here I am writing both print. Suppose if A and B are, A is less than B here. That's why I am writing A, print A is less than B. Print A is smaller. A is smaller. Here I am writing B is smaller. If it is true, B is smaller. Print B is smaller. In this way, we are using conditional decision making boxes. When you are writing algorithms, okay, we prepare flowcharts. In some situations, in every programs, having some conditions, conditional statements. Those conditional statements can be prepared by using this decision making box. So diamond shaped box is calling it as for conditional box. Okay, next coming to, in some situations when you are writing programs by using high level language, okay, when you are writing programs, so some repeated statements are executed repeatedly. So those statements are executed. Suppose in some situations we write repeated statements. So those repeated statements can be placed. So loops, those are called as repeated statements. Repeated statements placed in this box. Placed in the above box. That is calling it as loop. Loop means when you are writing programs, several set of statements repeated number of times. So those statements placed in this box. So these are, here I am writing for loop. For, so there are, loop means repeated execution of statements. Repeated execution of statements. Repeated execution of statement. So several statements repeat. For I is equal to 1 to 5 means here I is equal to 1. So 5 times I is a variable. Okay, this sequence of statements executed 5 times, starting from 1 to 5 times. Okay, see here I is equal to 1. Print I am writing here print I. Next, coming to I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1. Then again it comes to this. Okay, so here I value, here I is a variable, this is a loop, this is a loop. This loop consists of loop control variable. This I is calling it as loop control variable. I initially consists of the value 1. Okay, then coming to the statement print I. So I can be print in screen, output screen. This one is output screen. So I value is 1. Then coming to next statement, I is equal to I plus 1. Here I value is 1. I plus 1. I is also 1. First right side evaluated. Right side statement is I plus 1. I is 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 can be assigned to I value. So here I is assigned 2. Next coming to this statement. So in this way 5 times all these statements are executed repeatedly up to I reaches 5. So when I reaches 5, this loop terminated and enter into next statement. In this way loops can be executed repeatedly number of times. Here loop control variable I is calling it as loop control variable. This initializes with one value, starting value, that is 1 here. The ending value here, okay, 5. Starting value, ending value. So every loop control variable having must and should 3 values: initial value, ending value, and incremented value. So initial value, okay, ending value, and increment or decrement value, increment or decrement value. See here, I is a loop control variable. The initial value is 1. Okay, ending value 5. I is vary from 1 to 5. Each in every iteration, it increments 1. Each and every time it increments 1. I is equal to I plus 1. First I 1. When I is 1, it prints 1 value. After that, after completion of the statement, it comes to I is equal to I plus 1. Already I is equal to 1, 1 plus 1, 2. That can be stored in I. So I is 2 this time. Next, coming to this one, checking whether I is reached to 5 or not. Every time when it comes to this loop, here checking I reaches to 5 or not. I is 5 or not? No, I is not equal to 5. That's why it enter into next this statement. Print I. Next it prints 2. Next again I is equal to I plus 1. Here I is equal to 2. Then 2 plus 1, 3. Then I changes to value 1 incremented. Next, coming to this one, I compare with 5. In this case, I is not equal to 5. That's why it comes to this one. Next, print I. Print the value of 3. Next, coming to I is equal to I plus 1. So I see here I is equal to 3. 3 plus 1, 4. I change the value of I to 4. Increment the value of I from 3 to 4. Again it comes to this. Okay. For I is equal to 4 here. Then again compare I with 5. So here 4 is not equal to 5. So this one is condition checking. Every time when we are entering into this loop. Okay. So this one is ending value we reach or not. We check we reach ending point or not. So I is not equal to 5. That's why it comes to print I. Next statement. See here I value 4 that can be print in output screen. Again it comes to I is equal to I plus 1. I value is already 4. I plus 1, 5. Okay. Then again comes to this place. Here checks with I value with 5. Both are equal. That's why they are equal. In this case, so comes to this place. So print I. It prints I value 5 here. So I is equal to I plus 1. See I value changes from 5 to 6. 5 to 5 plus 1, 6. Again it compare with comes to this statement. Compare with 5. But these are not equal. These are not equal, and I also increased 5 with 1. That's why it returns false. Up to 1 to 5 reaches, it returns true value, but this case it returns false value. That's why here in this situation this loop not enter into print I and I plus 1. It immediately comes to next statement of this loop. In this way, loops can be executed repeatedly number of times. So a loop is nothing but it is a sequence of repeated execution of statements in a particular number of times. Here 5 times executed, and every time we print the value of I. This is a program for display 1 to 5 numbers. This output is related to print 1 natural numbers. 1 to 5 numbers. 1 to 5 numbers. In this way, we write algorithms. Okay. All the algorithm statements are represented in a pictorial manner by using the different symbols. Input box, output box, starter stop boxes, okay, beginner end boxes, or processing boxes, or conditional boxes. Next again, loop control boxes. All these boxes are used for writing the pictorial representation of flowcharts. Okay, so next one more box is introduced here. When you are writing, for example, when you are writing algorithms, this one is start, for example. This one is start. I am writing here one flowchart. I am writing starting from this one. Start. Okay. Next, I am writing here input. So for input, this box is I am using print a comma b values. Sorry, input a comma b values, a b values. I am entering a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. Then I compare a b values. So compare. So this comparison is placed in this diamond shaped box. Is okay. A is greater than b or not. A is greater than b or if A is greater, print A is biggest. If B is greater, print B is biggest. So here biggest of two numbers. This program is this algorithm for to print biggest of two numbers. Biggest of two numbers. Okay. So algorithm and flowchart. Algorithm and flowchart to print biggest of two numbers. Yes. First start. Second statement is input a comma b values. I am entering here two values, a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20. Then I compare is a is greater than b. If a is greater, suppose it returns two values. It returns two values. Okay. So whether it is true, it continues this flow. Whether it is false, it returns false. It goes this direction or this direction. So every box having only one control flow. This is calling it as control flow. This one is one symbol control flow. Okay. This connects two boxes. Step 1 and step 2. Step 2 and step 3. Step 3 and step 4. Sequence of steps can be connected by using this control flow. So each and every statement follows this control execution. So start, after that input a comma b values, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. Then compare the two values a and b. So if a is greater, for example, is a is greater than b. If a is greater, okay, question mark, it returns true. True means a is greater. It print. Okay, I am writing here print a is greater. A is greater. A is biggest. A means a value 10. 10 is biggest. Suppose if it is true, this one is true. Suppose if it is false, okay, it displays print B is biggest. B is biggest among these two values. So control comes to stop. Here I am writing start, last statement of the start or end, begin or end, start or stop. I am writing here. See this box. Connection can be control flow goes to this way or connected to this way. So when you are executing, okay, this algorithm to flowchart. So start, first step is start. Second step, input a comma b values. So here two flows. This diamond shaped box consists of conditional statement box consists of two flows. It suppose it comes to this place. First compare a with a. It consists of 10 value. B consists of 20 value. Okay. Compare these two values. A is greater than b. A is greater than b. Here true or false? Here 10 is less. Here 20 is greater actually, but this statement is false. That's why it comes to this control flow and it displays B is biggest and stop the process. In this way, algorithm sequence of statements or instructions are constructed by using the different symbols of flowchart. So all these flowchart symbols are very important to construct flowcharts. Okay, I introduce one more symbol here. This one is one symbol, flow of execution, flow of control flow. This displays control flow. One step is flow, how to flow to next step, goes to next step. Next one more, suppose I am writing here, I am giving some connector. This is calling it as connector. This one is one page. When you are writing flowcharts in your notebooks, suppose here page ends, next statement write in next page. This was, for example, this one is next page. Here I am connecting this one. Stop. So this one is one page, this one is another page. When you are writing flowcharts in your notebooks, first page is page not sufficient for writing this algorithm and flowchart. Then we are using, okay, this connector symbol. This is calling it as connector symbol. This connectivity with this statement connection with this symbol. This can be placed in next page. So this circle and one label we place for connector. So this symbol is calling it as connector. Okay, so this is the concept of flowchart symbols with connector symbol. Next, coming to, so connector symbol, suppose when you are writing notes, okay, in your notebooks, suppose I am writing some India is greatest, India is a greatest. I am writing GR, some hyphen symbol, TEST, greatest. For example, I am writing greatest, GREATEST. So India is a greatest, GR hyphen, here I am writing hyphen. This indicates connector. When you are writing notes, suppose this word not place sufficient place for here, then write one or two characters here, then you place one indication. So hyphen, that indication, it represents remaining continuation placed here, like that PTO. Okay. Next, like that connectors can be used. Connector, one label, one circle, and you write one label here. So you connect two pages of flowcharts with this symbol. So all these symbols are placed here. Next, so according to functionality, all the flowchart symbols are start or stop box. This one is start or stop, start or stop, or begin or end, beginner, start or stop, or begin or end. This one also write with begin or end. Every flowchart, first statement always this consists of this statement. Every last statement of the flowchart consists of this symbol. Okay, or end. Okay, next, coming to second one, input or output. This can be used for input or output purpose. Both purpose it can be used. Okay, so next, coming to rectangular shaped box, process, computational, process box. After that, decision making, conditional box, decision making, control whether it is true, whether it is false. So here I am writing some condition, is some question mark. So conditional box, this is calling it as conditional box. Okay, in some cases repeated statement, execution of statements can be placed, loops can be placed here. This one is loop statements. Okay, This loop can be placed here, repeatedly executed. Here you are writing loop, for I is equal to 1 to 5. Here you are writing remain what statements repeatedly executed. So I is equal to 1 to 5, print I. Okay, then I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1. So in this way, all the statements are executed repeatedly by using loop control statements. So all these symbols are according to functionality. According to shape, all these boxes are calling it as, this one is elliptical shape. Okay, so these symbols can be placed elliptical shape boxes also. Okay, start or stop. This one also valid. Begin or end. Begin or end. This one also valid. So elliptical shape boxes. Next, coming to this one is parallelogram shaped box. Parallelogram shaped box. Next, coming to this one is rectangular shaped box. According to shape, rectangular shaped box. According to shape, this one is calling it as diamond shaped box. This one is calling it as loop control box. Loop control box. Okay, in this way we write algorithms and flowchart by using this. Algorithm is a sequence of steps. Those steps can be constructed in a design manner by using the graphical symbols. Okay, so this is today's class. Next class we continue remaining topics, that is compiler, what is meant by compiler, what is meant by interpreter, and the difference between compiler and interpreter, and different types of languages, high level language, low level language, middle level language. All these basic concepts and definitions are discussed in next class.